here over for Insurasales. I'm sitting with Johnny Nitafan, who is a agent extraordinaire, especially at his age. He's a really rising star. Runs the young hustlers insurance market.
Yep.
I don't know because I'm too old to be in it, apparently. No, but it's fantastic.
That's too funny.
This is the next generation of top high producers in the market. Also, the people that are helping the most people right now are the younger crowd. So, Johnny, how's it going?
It's going well, man. This is my first 8%, so it's like, dude, it's cool. It's awesome. I'm grateful to be on here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about you personally. Let's talk about the personal stuff.
My name is Johnny Nitafan, and 21 years old. Just got married about a year ago.
Oh, fantastic! Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's been crazy, man. Seriously, but super grateful for that. I worked at Starbucks about a year ago, actually, and so moved out to Arizona for basketball, and love my family, love first and foremost, and so I moved out for basketball. And 3 weeks in, decided to quit, and that taught me a lot of determination, work ethic, a lot of different things character-wise. But I love playing basketball, and I was like, honestly, I want to pursue something different, right? And so I've always had a bigger calling, wanted to be an entrepreneur since I was young, and so I started a clothing line right when I was 18, and so just had a very entrepreneurial spirit, and I'm like, dang, man, so I went all in on that, wanted to be a speaker. I actually had a tour lined up to go speak to high schools because I just really want to empower the youth and empower people just like me in my situation. And so I had a whole 10 little road show, kind of what Cody did, for high schools and youth groups in church. And so I did that, had that lined up, and then COVID hit. And that was really discouraging. And so I had to cancel everything. But it led me to where I am today, for sure. So that's a little bit about me. I love family. I love going to church, just being around people, Christians, and I just live out my faith. That's the biggest part of who I am. And so, that's a little bit about me.
Excellent. So are you specializing in Medicare, supplement, Advantage plan? What's your business looking like?
So I'm specializing in life. So
Excellent.
Mortgage protection. That's the biggest thing I do right now, and flirting a little bit with Medicare. Haven't officially gotten into it, but I'm definitely thinking about it. I don't know if now's the right time in terms of my personal business, but I think it's definitely been a conversation.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, one of the things about Medicare especially is I don't advocate anyone ever stop what they're doing, right? Especially if it's working. That's the biggest mistake you can make in business. This is working great. Let me go do something else. Yeah,
right?
No, don't do that. But ultimately speaking, Medicare and the Medicare world, especially Medicare supplements, that's where agents go to get their retirement.
Gotcha, okay.
The name of this game is about persistency and renewals.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to find better renewals than Medicare.
Totally.
So you're talking like here in the state of Texas, it's full renewal comp for 7 years.
Really?
Standard. Yes. So if I made $400 off a policy like a G plan, I will make $400 every year for 7 years before that steps down.
Wow.
Right.
That's really good.
It's where they don't like to talk about it because it's not the most profitable thing for insurance carriers.
Oh, okay.
So they don't really advertise, but it's the best thing out there for seniors. Now, Advantage plans, I'm not going to knock on them. They're essential for certain people, especially low income. But if you want it, it's an easy thing to learn too. So it's just kind of hidden gem.
Totally.
But mortgage protection's also fantastic.
Yeah.
And it gets because it's a lot of great upfront money, and it gets agencies started. But I think long term you'll end up where we are eventually. It's just a matter of how fast.
Right, and that's the biggest thing I've been trying to figure out. Especially, I'm just getting into the space, trying to figure out exactly what I'm trying to do. And so I'm definitely wanting to niche down in mortgage protection right now, and then branch that there in a little bit, maybe a couple of years, just because I'm trying to keep my head down, focus, and become a master,
right,
and not be the jack of all trades. I think that's the biggest thing that I see is people see the industry and they're like, oh, I'm gonna do everything, right?
And you can do nothing well.
Exactly, and it's I want to have a real estate company, I want to do this, that, I want to be good at insurance, wherever the money is, I want to do solar, all this stuff, and it's you got to niche down in one thing, and I think that's the biggest thing I'm really trying to work on is pretty much putting the blinders on, doing really well in mortgage protection, become a master at that and start branching out when I can do this in my sleep.
Exactly. So. And it's also a product line that you really identify with because of your age group and your current life status. You just got married. You just got a house, or you're about to get a house. All of those things are there. That's the thing that really identifies with you and you can connect with.
Totally.
And because you can connect with that, you can communicate it very well. So a lot of people don't get into Medicare because they're not getting towards the point where they're seniors.
Yeah.
Right? It's easy to do that once you get empathy or really good at that. But the thing is that targeting something that you can already understand because you already feel it.
Yeah.
You know, that's a great way to start.
Yeah.
It really is.
Totally.
So, and it's about repetition and practice. And if you can communicate that feeling because you understand it yourself over and over and over again, then you can start understanding how other people feel and communicate on other products. But you're absolutely right. Do not diverge from what you're doing until you've mastered it.
Totally. Couldn't agree more with that, for sure.
Yeah. So, no, dude, you're doing great, man.
Appreciate it.
So.
Yeah. No, I'm super grateful for it, and especially just being able to, the reason my biggest calling I feel like right now is inspiring people my age. My goal in 5 years is to have my own conference for young entrepreneurs, and so to get there and be able to start bring people in and be able to inspire people, I started a podcast. It's called From Unknown to Unforgettable. Everybody starts out unknown, and so being able to get to a place that you're unforgettable. Legends are unforgettable.
Yeah.
Everybody, you think of basketball, you think of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry, you think of these people because they're unforgettable, but at first they were nobodies, right? And my goal is to inspire young people. That's why we got the Young Hustlers group in Insuralink, and so...
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm being very horrible about my own posting in Insuralink. I just responded to one question so far. We're so busy with this stuff,
right?
Yeah. But the Young Hustlers group, tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so it's for young people in the insurance space that are trying to make a difference in people's lives, and it's a group that's created especially just to be able to the biggest thing is to be able to create a space for young entrepreneurs and young people in the insurance space to come together, be able to network together, collaborate together. It's not a scarcity mindset. There's an abundance of people. Right. Like in Medicare, 10,000 people a day turning 65. There's people that need life insurance, right?
Am I not important enough for you to stop this deal, man?
What's going on, man?
This is Brandon.
Thank you.
This is Brandon Todd.
Yeah, we know each other.
Okay.
Yeah, we know each other. So, congratulations, man. I want to interview you next.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the goal is to be able to create a group to be able to feed off each other's energy and be able to create a change in the insurance space, because at the end of the day, we're the next generation and we're going to be the next leaders. And my goal is in the Young Hustlers group to be able to create a culture that's collaborative, that we could build each other up, not tear each other down. So that's the biggest thing, is to be able to just help inspire people, bring people in, and collaborate and be able to just blow this thing up in our 20s and 30s. So, yeah.
So you remind me a lot of myself when I was 29 and came working for here.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I wish I had found insurance a lot sooner than I did.
Yeah.
So it was a very fun time learning all this stuff, but it was.
Yeah.
I wish I'd done it a little earlier.
Yeah, totally.
But so, what would you say is the one thing when it comes to sales itself?
Yeah.
I understand that building the groups and building the presence and the persona to be able to expand this out to people so they can help more people. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
We got a lot of people here that are doing that.
Yeah.
But we don't have a lot of people that have sales chops or an intuitive ability to actually make connections with people on an individual basis, which is what sales is. And I've heard that you are really good at that.
I appreciate it.
So what do you say is, if I was sitting there right now, and not like someone getting into the business, but if you were dealing with someone right now who's having some trouble, they've been around for a while, you know how it is, that rise, oh, I've gotten real good. Now there's a slump, and you're like, how do you?
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with that, do you primarily sell face-to-face, phone-to-phone?
No, telesales.
Telesales, great.
So yeah, I've actually switched completely into telesales.
Yeah.
So
let's walk me through. Let's go to Coach Johnny now, right?
Okay.
Walk me through after that initial climb. It could be after a week. It could be after 3 months when they've screwed something up and they don't realize it and that they hit that lull. Walk me through how you diagnose that and how you get them through
totally.
that.
I think the biggest thing is to be able to see where their mindset is. Mindset's everything, and that's where It's funny because Roger just had this thing with Napoleon Hill. Whatever the mind can
conceive,
the body can achieve. And so it's like, where is your mindset? What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the chargeback you just got? Or are you focusing on the 100 leads you have right in front of you that you can just, dude, you can create like hundreds of thousands of dollars just from a little stack of leads, right? And so I think the biggest thing is to see where their mindset is, having a conversation of like, where are you at? How have things been? Because you can tell pretty much in 30 seconds where someone's head's at. Mm-hmm. So I think the biggest thing is to be able to get in a conversation, how are things going? I had an agent text me today and he's like, hey man, I need to get on a Zoom call. And I think the biggest thing, like, the biggest thing that I had when out in my first 30 days, you need people to reach out to and ask for help. And if somebody's not asking me questions and not blowing up my phone with questions, it kind of gives me a red flag, because you gotta have humility in this business to start.
Yeah.
And I think so. The biggest thing is like ask them where their head's at and their mind's at. How many dials are they making in the week, in day to day? How many appointments are they running? Like these are things that I diagnose, because at the end of the day, the results are going to come if the activity's there and your mindset's there. And I think I try to like ask like, okay, where's your head at? Are you writing down your affirmations daily? Are you, like, is your head in the right spot? Are you coming out of a place of abundance or scarcity? And I think getting to that mindset and that core belief system where they're at is the biggest thing that I like is able to help me help them. So being able to see where their head's at, being able to diagnose their business, how many leads they're getting, how much they're investing each week, and pretty much from there it's kind of like plug and play. Like if they're not buying any leads or getting anything like that, that's a problem, especially when you're starting out.
You don't have any opportunity, you can't sell anything.
Exactly. You need people to talk to. And so being able to pretty much mindset and then how much like activity they're putting in, pretty much from there you could kind of see where they're at.
Yeah.
So
well, that's good. Yeah. That's good. I've always found a little bit different. It might be a little different in the Medicare world, because I find that a lot of people out there, it is about an activity. And they say it's a numbers game, but it is, but it's not for the reason everyone thinks it is.
Yeah.
Right? It's about maximizing your potential and increasing your closing percentage.
Totally. Yeah.
And a lot of people, especially younger agents, and I used to be guilty of this before I came and worked in this industry, think that more of an activity will get you a better result, and it just doesn't. It's an opportunity to practice more.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking at an agent in particular, right, and I got one guy who's busting his ass making $200 a day, but I got another guy who's making 40, and they're selling the same amount, I'm going to go the 40 guy, 40 dials. He's closing in a higher proficiency. He's better at those conversations.
Yeah.
So I had to, a long time ago, switch from looking at how many dials you're making. The number of dials I look is the last thing I look at. I look at the number of sales you have, how many of them got issued, but then I look at talk time. Talk time is king.
That's big, yeah.
It is absolute king, because are you able to engage in a conversation? Are you able to make a connection? Are you able to keep them on the phone?
Yeah.
Right?
True.
And not necessarily waste time. But what else are you going to, either I'm going to do everything humanly possible to close this deal right now, not schedule an appointment, get it done now, because pipeline is bullshit, right? Get it done right now. Or am I going to make another 50 calls, burning through $50 per of those calls, each one of those leads? And it's one of those things, like I learned a long time ago, you have to commit to making the sale now, because it will not be gone there tomorrow.
I agree.
So if you give up on this, or you want to go, I want to try someone else, you've already lost. You might as well stop for the day.
True.
Just stop. You're not in the right head, like you said. You're not in the right headspace.
Yep.
If you think like that, you're not in the right headspace.
100%.
So I think dials are important, but I really think it's talk time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Totally.
And to hear someone that's thinking like you do and taking that approach, like you have no idea how rare it is for someone to say, if they're not calling me with questions, I worry. Right? Most other people that are coaching in this industry or trying to recruit out of this industry, they have the exact, I don't want them to call me. No, I just want the top producers. Well, here's the bottom line. The top producers don't need you.
Exactly.
They don't need you.
Exactly.
Right? In fact, you're a nuisance to them. They wish they didn't have you as an FMO. It's the guys that we should spend more time like you're doing developing talent. And understand that it's not for everybody, and it's not an easy job.
It's not.
Some people will just never make it.
Yep.
Focus the attention on the people that have the potential.
Exactly.
And to hear people doing that and go, I'm not getting calls, I'm not getting questions, and I should be. Something's wrong. That is absolutely brilliant.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant, man. And I don't get to hear that at all. And I think that if you keep that attitude and keep going, there's no telling where you're going to go on that, man. There's just.
Thank you.
And I think you probably also approach your clients that way too. And if you do that, your retention's going to be up. I'll tell you a little secret. If you're good at retaining clients in the insurance world, you could be amazing at retaining agents in the insurance world. But a lot of people don't think like that.
Yeah.
They don't try to engage in the people that make them money.
Yeah.
And I think that you're on the right track by doing that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm actually very blown away. I never thought I'd hear that from a young guy like you. It took me years to realize that.
Appreciate it. Thank
you.
you.
How old are you?
21.
Jesus, man. 21 years old. Wow. At 21 years old, if I was still in the Marine Corps, so I got to pass on that. But at 21 years old, if I was thinking like you were thinking, one of two things would happen. Either I'd be a billionaire by now, or I would have wrapped a Dodge Viper around a tree at 25. You know, I'm just saying, probably would have. But the fact that I'm actually blown away, man. I had no idea that you were you're that young and this far along.
Appreciate it, man.
So who was your mate outside the conference circuits or anything else like that? Who's your major influence in life? Because you don't get to that level by attending a few conferences and watching some webinars. You don't.
Yeah.
So how did you get to that sort of mental state where you're way ahead of the rest of your compatriots?
I appreciate it. I mean, it takes a village for sure. I have whatever I want to grow in life, I just get a coach. Fitness, just get a coach. Business, get a coach. And I think spiritually get a coach as well. And I think I have all those different areas that it's like, especially with the Ultimate Agent coming out, a lot of stuff going on there. I have people to keep me grounded. I think my wife is the #1 support system in that way. But I think also just more importantly, like having people keep me spiritually grounded, and also like business, like just push me in that way. Mm-hmm. And it's a healthy balance for sure. But I mean, I look up to Cody a lot. I really like inspires me. I like seeing the CA and 8% all around. I think it inspires me to say like, what can I do at a younger age? And I think having him in my corner, I know that having him in my corner and being able to have him just as a person that I look up to a lot and I could bounce ideas off of, that I can be able to accomplish what he's done in maybe half the time. Yeah. And that's my goal, is to be able to like have a conference here in the next few years of my own for our young entrepreneurs, because I know it's you can go hard in your 20s and live the rest of your life. Like you can build a life young, at a young age. You don't have to wait. You don't have to have experience, quote unquote. You don't have to go through the job. You don't have to go through all that stuff. If you find the right vehicle at a young age with the right people, sky's the limit. And I think I've seen that, and I've tried to tap into that a lot. But it's like, I'm nowhere close where I want to be, and I think that's what keeps me level of like, I think there's so much more that I want to do. Like I'm just scratching the surface of what I really want to accomplish. But it's like having the mindset of like, that's where I'm going to be, that's where I'm headed, that's where I'm focused on. And whatever comes. But 5 years from now, I want to have a conference, I want to be at $1 million agency in 3 years, a month. It's like one of those things, like those are my goals I write down every day. And I think that is able to like really keep me level and just humble and hungry all the time. So, yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you, John, it's fantastic meeting you, man.
Great to meet you too, man.
I gotta tell you, I didn't think I'd be as impressed. I haven't done many interviews here so far, but by far this has been the most refreshing thing that I could have expected off of.
Thank you so much. That means
fantastic.
a ton.